If you want to sell your own private label on Amazon and don't want to buy the expensive UPC codes, this video is for you. If Amazon keeps blocking you when you try to create a listing because you don't have a UPC or EIN, it usually means one of two things. Either Amazon needs a valid product ID for that setup, or your brand and category setup still isn't in the right place. And this is where a lot of sellers get stuck. They try random fixes, they go in circles, and they waste days on something that should have been handled the right way from the start. In this video, I am going to walk you through how GTIN Exemption actually works, when it makes sense to use it, and when it doesn't, and the exact 7-step process to go through it without guessing. This is also the same process we use to get listings live cleanly for brands that want to grow without UPC codes. We've used this exact GTIN exemption process for dozens of brands, especially those with very large catalogs and a high number of variations. And we've also seen how GTIN mistakes can delay launches, break listing structures, and create catalog problems later. So first, we start with what the GTIN exemption actually is. A GTIN is simply a product identifier. UPC codes are GTINs, EIN codes are also GTINs. Normally, when you create a listing on Amazon, the platform expects one of these identifiers, so it knows exactly what product is being added to the catalog. Now, GTIN exemption is Amazon allowing you to create a listing without providing that product identifier. In other words, Amazon is saying, for this specific product, brand, or category, we will allow your seller account to create the listing without a UPC or EIN. That's all it does. And it's important to understand what it doesn't do. GTIN exemption isn't a hack, it's not a workaround for every listing problem, and it doesn't fix issues related to brand setup or catalog structure. All it solves is one thing: the missing product ID. And this is where many sellers get confused. A GTIN exemption isn't the same as brand approval. If you want to list products under your own brand name, Amazon needs to recognize or approve that brand first. Without that step, the listing process can stop before you even reach the GTIN stage. Another common mistake happens when sellers choose the option that says the product has no brand name. When you select that option, Amazon creates a listing, what is called generic brand. In some situations, that's fine, but if your goal is to build a real branded product on Amazon, generic is usually not the direction you want to take. So the key takeaway here is simple. GTIN exemption removes the product ID requirement, but it does not replace brand approval, and it does not solve broader catalog issues. Our second step is to understand when to use the GTIN exemption. GTIN exemption is useful when the product you're selling genuinely does not have a UPC or EIN assigned by the manufacturer, but you still need a compliant way to create the listing. This situation appears quite often with private label products, some reseller setups, bundles, spare parts, or accessories, where the manufacturer never created the barcodes in the first place. But where the GTIN exemption becomes especially useful is when you're dealing with a very large catalog brand. Let me give you a real example. One of the multi-7-figure brands we work with sells print-on-demand phone cases through both FBA and FBM. The catalog currently has more than 20,000 listings live. Every year, when a new iPhone and Android models launch, the brand releases thousands of new variations to match those devices. Now, imagine what would happen if every single one of these listings would need a unique UPC. Every year, you would have to purchase thousands of new barcodes, assign them to the listings, manage them in your catalog, and maintain that structure as the catalog keeps expanding exponentially. Operationally, that becomes a huge amount of unnecessary work, and in this case, the product packaging does not include any product identifiers because we are the ones creating the packaging. The only identifier used for FBA shipments is the FNSKU label Amazon applies for fulfillment. Because of that setup, we applied for a GTIN exemption for the entire brand inside Seller Central. This allows our team to create new listings for new phone models every year without needing to purchase and assign thousands of UPC codes. So yes, GTIN exemption helps you launch listings faster. But more importantly, in large catalogs like this, it keeps the catalog structure manageable and avoids the operational overhead and cost of assigning thousands of GS1 barcodes. In the third step, we will cover when you shouldn't use the GTIN exemption. The GTIN exemption is not always the best path if you're building a serious brand for the long term. In these cases, GS1 barcodes are often the cleaner option. They usually give you a stronger catalog foundation and fewer complications later when you start selling in retail. Also, If the real problem is brand approval, the GTIN exemption won't fix that for you. However, a lot of sellers make that mistake and think, I'll just use generic brand now and get the listing live. If the product should actually be under a real brand name, that shortcut will create bigger problems later. So the rule here is simple. Use the GTIN exemption when it fits the setup. Don't use it as a shortcut when the real issue is the brand, the category, or poor catalog planning. And before you even submit anything, there are usually 3 things Amazon looks for. First, the category and product type. Some categories are stricter than others, so if you pick the wrong one, you can create problems before the listing even goes live. Second is the brand name match. Whatever brand name you enter must match exactly what appears on your product itself or its packaging. And number 3 are the images. It's very important to remember that Amazon wants real images, not polished mockups. They want to clearly see the product, the packaging, and the branding. They will ask for images from all 6 sides of the packaging so that they clearly do not see a barcode on the packaging. So before you even think about submitting the request, make sure those 3 parts are solid and you have the images ready. Okay. Now let's get into the actual flow. Here's what you want to do. You go to catalog, then add products. From there, you will choose create a new listing. Next, you pick the product type or category, and then enter the brand name exactly as it appears on the product or packaging. At this stage, a lot of sellers hit the first roadblock. If Amazon stops you there, it may not be because of the missing UPC yet. In many cases, Amazon is stopping you at the brand stage first, and this usually means one of 2 things. If the brand has a trademark, the cleaner path may be to register it in the brand registry to get automatic approval to list. But if your brand doesn't have a registered trademark, Amazon may still require brand approval before they let you move forward with that brand name. This would require going through a similar process of showing Amazon the branded packaging and invoices to prove legal ownership of the stock. So this is a really 2-step process. First, Amazon has to accept the brand setup. Then once that part is in place, you go back to the listing flow and choose you don't have a product ID or GTIN and continue through the exemption process itself. Once the brand side is handled, you can submit the required details, upload the images, and wait for Amazon's decision. If the approval doesn't come right away, don't think it failed. Sometimes it just takes a bit of time to update. In that case, save the listing as a draft and come back to it later. Amazon will automatically create a case for this exemption, so you can always go back and check the process. There are times though when sellers get rejected. One common reason is the brand name does not match the packaging. Another one is choosing the wrong category or providing weak images. They're blurry, maybe the branding isn't clear, maybe the packaging isn't shown properly, or maybe there actually is a UPC on the packaging and Amazon can clearly see that. Another big one is using generic in the wrong way. If the product should be listed under a real brand, generic is not a harmless shortcut. It can cause bigger catalog issues later. Once the exemption process is approved, you still need to build the listing correctly. Your title, attributes, variation structure still need to be clean from the start. And you will also want to document which exemptions you already have, especially if multiple people work in the account. If this is a product or brand you plan to scale long-term, it's worth deciding early whether you'll eventually move to GS1, because that gets harder to clean up later if you don't plan for it. So yes, GTIN exemption helps you get the listing live. However, the bigger goal is making sure the catalog stays clean after that. If you want help doing that the right way, there's a link below to book a complimentary strategy session with one of the AMZB's team. See you in the next one.